Okay. Don, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Adam.
Okay, you can still see my screen?
I sure can.
Great, we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. This is the open house presentation for BrightEyesBicycleLights.com. My name's Adam Beebe. I'm senior broker here at Latona's. We're joined by Don and his wife, and pronounce your last name. I'm sorry.
It's Rapley.
Rapley. My last name's Beebe. I've heard Beebe. I apologize. And I'm not good at pronunciation, so I apologize. Don, welcome. Mrs. Rapley, welcome. Everyone else, welcome. Now, the three of us are going to be the only people who are going to be speaking. A little housekeeping here. Anyone listening other than Don and Mrs. Rapley, um, Don and I are going to be the only ones speaking. If you haven't already done so, please log into the audio bridge. You can use your phone and key in all the ID instructions, or you can do like I am doing my mic and speakers. If you have a question, use the chat functionality in the GoToWebinar software. It'll be asked verbatim. It may not be asked at the moment you ask it because it may be pertaining to a topic we're going to cover later. But they'll all get asked. And without further ado, what we have here is a screenshot that anyone can access going to the Latonas.com, going to this listing page. It's harder to make out. You can kind of tell here that they're two different colors, but the revenue, COGS, expenses, uniques, well, the page views, those four data points, or four data genres, if you will. If you click on the numbers that are in blue, they'll expand into a monthly breakdown. So the past trailing 12 months, so in this case, January to December 2015, of revenue, cost of goods sold, expenses, and page views. It's a good multiple. It's right at a $630,000 profit after subtracting out things that are not specifically counted as expenses and not normally counted as expenses towards the website. We do have profit and loss statements for calendar year 2015, as well as individual monthly ones. We do need a signed NDA in-house and a request for that, and that's determined on a case-by-case basis. Welcome late joiners here. I see a few people have joined since I started my spiel. If you want to ask questions, do so in the chat functionality of the GoToMeeting software. They will get answered, or they will get asked and answered at the appropriate time. But $2.2 million asking on this. We do have a prospectus on the site. I recognize some of the names on the call already. I do know you've received the prospectus, but anyone on the call, and then also this recording of this is going to be live on Latona's ideally before, but no later than early Monday. You can request the prospectus by doing so on the listing page, and I'll get a request form and make sure that you have a signed NDA. If not, I'll send you one. So, Don, Mrs. Rappel, what you and I'm sorry, should I call you Mrs. Rappel or should I call
No,
you something
Danae.
else?
Danae would be great.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Danae.
Danae. Okay. So, Donna, Danae, if you would, during this section, as well as the admin section, and the admin being the slides that you sent Victoria, you two are going to be really the only people speaking, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be organizing any questions that come in during it into the appropriate sections. But really the history of the site is you telling us, okay, well, it all started when, and then fill in the blank, and then taking us up to present day. History normally takes a couple minutes, in this age of a site. So just kind of, and I know the answers to a lot of these questions, but this is obviously for the people, the buyers on the phone. Tell us why you started the site, what has developed since you started the site, and what you think is relevant that's different between then and now. So go ahead and take it away, please.
Okay. We started this at the end of October 2013. Um, I I met a guy that well, first of all, we had a sporting goods business for 20 years, and it was brick and mortar, and it got more difficult as Amazon and other online sites got stronger and stronger. And there was times when I had to go to Amazon to buy product to be able to sell in my store because certain brands would run out of shoes or things like that, you know. Anyway, the more I got into that, the more I thought Amazon is a a pretty powerful place, and it's growing really fast. And of course, the internet overall is getting stronger all the time. Um, so I had a friend that kind of taught me how Amazon works and how to open up what they call a seller account, amazon.seller.com, and you can open up a professional site, and but you can't just go on there and think you can just sell without some information from other people that have done it in the past. And so I was able to pay for a course, and a person taught me how to do this. And um, so I learned a little bit about Amazon, plus with my background of sales, I was able to list some things. And anyway, I just picked some items that were familiar to me in my store, and I was able to find some manufacturers that would develop some lights for me. And so I developed some lights the way I liked them to be, and branded it in box and did these kind of things. And so that's how we started. In December, I was able to add my first product, actually first two products. And so we also started up a system shortly after that, an email system, where we would send automated letters to people with personalized order ID numbers and their name and things like that. And we every day would answer emails from people as they had questions and things. And so we really believed in customer service, because online you don't see that as much as inside of a store. And so we really put a lot of time into customer service, customer awareness, and put a lot of hard work into this, and got some great designs on bike lights figured out and produced. And that's kind of where we started. Over time, because of customer service and our quality of lights, our name grew. And within 6 months, we were getting emails from people saying, I'm in this big this bike group, this club, and we get together every week, and people are really liking these lights. Can you tell me more about these lights? Or, I love the lights that I purchased. I'm telling everybody about this group. And before you knew it, there was just literally tens to hundreds of groups, emailing us saying, we want these lights. Um, and uh, and we and you know and so they were just telling me, how great these lights were, and how good the system was, and customer service and things like that. So eventually, this name, Bright Eyes, grew into a national brand. By December that next year, 1 year later, we were in the top 10 brands in the nation, and #1 on Amazon as far as rechargeable bike lights. And so with that brand name, just like in my store, I knew that if somebody liked one product, I could continue to add products under that same name. And when we add, products, as long as they're quality things, which they always are, these lights will continue to grow as we add these lights on, and they just have all done well, really well, because of the name. So this is 2 years later, just over 2 years, and we're very successful with these lights and with this brand. And we're always continuing to improve the quality as people send emails to us. Maybe they'll have a complaint about something, things like that. I am always working to better the quality of these lights, and inserts and things that we, you always see weaknesses here and there in every business, and I'm always staying on top of that. Anything else I can say, Adam?
I think you
Anything else
really
that?
summarized it nicely. The I'm advancing a slide right here. This is obviously from your Amazon
Yes.
account. I know we can get deeper into it. This is something you sent us. Let me actually scroll here. As mentioned, you mentioned the site's a little over 2 years. We're seeing some activity, obviously, to bolster what you said. We'll get more into the Amazon storefront and the reviews in a bit. I think more specifically during the admin section, but let's advance. Let's actually advance into that. I did include the 2015 year right there with Victoria, but I wanted to actually save that for a one-on-one basis. So we'll just pass through that.
Okay.
The analytics, I mean, I know that what we have listed on Latona's is the page views that you reported for each and every month, January through December 2015. And I know that what we have on Latona's is contact us for uniques. The analytics that you have provided us here, why don't you speak on that? As far as traffic coming in, obviously it has to do with, you have a site and you have a domain referring to it, or referring domain. But the relevant thing is a storefront on Amazon. Why don't you talk a bit on traffic and how you're gauging it?
Okay. First of all, anybody can sell on Amazon, but anybody with maybe some knowledge about your product and things, it's real knowledgeable out there that you have to have some type of landing page or some type of a website for your brand to really be legitimate, and even in the eyes of Amazon themselves. And most people on Amazon don't know this, but we created a website, and you saw pictures of that website. When a name starts getting big, it's really good to register that name with Amazon, that nobody else can use that name for anything as far as that category. And so after a while, I registered that name, created this website where if anybody outside of Amazon saw something that they liked, they can click on that, but it would send them to Amazon. That's one way that we get outside help as far as funneling people to this Amazon, which is a great website. Amazon is considered the most powerful and largest website in the country, and thus, although we have a website, it clicks them into Amazon, which is, they do all the sales, they do all the returns, they pretty much take all the work out of as far as selling that product, other than I go in there and I list products certain ways and I put certain keywords in. So when people are looking for bike lights, these keywords are really important in the title and other places. So with that said, this generates sales, and the sales continue to grow. If our sales continue to grow and I keep things in stock, which I always have done, Amazon will start targeting our name and those products on social media networks like Facebook, other places. And so as long as you're doing your job right, Amazon, and following their rules, Amazon will take your brand and grow it. There are other places in Amazon. There's an advertising area where you can promote your product, and there's a bid where you can put in a cost per bid. Say if you put in a dollar bid, that'll bid against other sellers. And I use this on every one of my products, and I always have the highest bid, because I found out that what you make off those clicks is you pay for the product in the advertising itself, plus you'll see our product in two different places, not only where I'm ranked, but also on the top of the page under any of the bike lights. And so you'll see that, and so that really generates a lot of business. There's another area that most people on Amazon don't understand the power of, and that's been really amazing for us. What you're looking at right now, if you click on your sales per day, it'll have a graph of how your sales are for the day, how they were a week ago, and how they were a year ago. And on that page, you can click on certain areas that'll show you the statistics of what was selling, what has been selling the best for the last 30 days. And this is just one of those areas that you click on. And if you look at the top right, it'll show how many orders I had in a 30-day period of that one light or item.
That's the year.
And yeah, so it shows the December 1st through December 31st. And Christmas is always the the best month of the year, but we always have sales from. I mean, lights are seasonal to a point, but we sell well all year long. And so December, I just chose December because that was the latest statistics that was up on the screen. And getting back to the number, so it rates it your number one product from top to your product that you sell the least to the bottom. And so you can tell that on the top right, I sold 2,814, I think it says, in the month of December. And items ordered. You'll also see a unit session percentage, about 2 left of that number, and it says 11.83. What that means is anytime somebody clicks on your product, that's the percentage that buys before they go somewhere else. You can see other products that I have that have a lot higher percentages on that, and although the sales are lower, a lot of times they will come back and order that product. And so that's how that works. If you're around 2 or 3%, it probably is not very good. Anything over 7% is really great. A lot of times when your percentages are higher, sometimes it means that you're the only one selling that product, so the percentage is naturally going to be higher. If there's a lot of people selling that product, which there are on mine, I'm still getting almost 12% of everybody that looks at that light. And that doesn't count for them coming back and clicking it on again and deciding to buy it at that point. But that's just during that one click and what they do with it. There's a lot of other stats on that page, and if there's any questions on that, I can sure answer those. So.
Okay, thank you very much. And I know that feel free to continue what you're doing if you would. The real, really what's being bought here, in addition to the revenue stream that's apparent, is like you said, anyone can sell on Amazon. Not everybody can sell successfully on Amazon. So, part of the support that, and everyone listening, Don and I met each other. Well, we had been dealing beforehand via email and phone, but then we actually, and some of the people on the call, I'm sure, were at Affiliate Summit that wrapped up in Vegas this past week. He and I met, and he expressed to me that there will be the desire to continue the success of the business, and there's his acceptance and wanting to be of support after it. So that that's part of what's being purchased here. So on something like this, we put this on everything, Don, but the backlinks and all that's not a strategy that you employ. You don't do link exchanges. There's none of that. We're going to skip over some slides because, to be candid, some of them aren't relevant to your site, and that's not a negative. Just like that one, you do have some referring domains, but obviously it's for the site name, the website that you have that refers to the storefront, and then vice versa, not vice versa, but you have 2 domains that you own that do come with the site.
Let me talk about that for 1 second.
Go ahead.
That's okay. So we have brighteyesbicyclelights.com, and we built a website around that. Well, we've recently changed that. We still have that domain name. If people click or they have that somewhere else saved, and they can paste that into the into the page and the URL and click on that, they will go to that website. But we noticed that Bright Eyes could be used for a lot of different things, and so we've just started selling lights outside of a bicycle light, such as a patio light that has a solar function on it and a motion sensor, which we just barely added to our list, and we're just starting to sell actually this week. And we have some other products that are like just regular flashlights and things like that, and a desk light and things like that. But anyway, so Bright Eyes, to me, because it has a powerful name and a powerful storefront, when people look at it, they're familiar with it. They're always asking questions, do you sell other products? And so now that we've started to sell other products, we've started a new domain name, brighteyesproducts.com. And so if you were to write that in, the URL, and click on that, you're going to also go to the same website. So we've changed the name of that website to brighteyesproducts.com. But both will work because both are important, and they're separated between bicycle lights and these other items. So I just wanted to clarify that of why we did that.
Okay, great. Thanks and feel free to interject with anything. This is something that anyone can go to, SEMrush. It's clicked on the US, but this is a free service. I think the most relevant thing here is to be able to ascertain, if you were to buy traffic, what it would cost you to do it. But in this specific circumstance, we are talking about an Amazon storefront. It's, again, not as relevant. But you're not paying for any. This is for the benefit of the people on the call. You're not paying for any traffic. Is that accurate?
Right. From outside traffic, nothing at all.
Okay. All right. Again, SEMrush. Again, want to breeze over some slides that we make for every site, regardless of what it is. And I'm gonna advance so we can spend some more time talking about really the more relevant things to the site. This is something that most buyers love to see, which is a gradual ascension, if you will, of page views. And what this is telling people is that more people are visiting the storefront. What would you to attribute, and there's probably a whole host of things, and I know we'll get to that more in the admin section, but other than just trial and error, I guess, what do you think is the main reason why? Is it the continued quality service? Is it the continued positive reviews, and you're getting ranked higher in Amazon? Why do you think more page views are coming?
There's a lot of variables. First of all, I've been selling my dad had a hardware store. I worked in that store since I was like 11 years old, and up until I got married, at 24. And then I opened up a running store. I had a running store for several years that I owned with another partner. And then I had 20 years of ownership in a sporting goods shop here in the town that I live in. And so I've had a lot of background as far as sales. And so I think it has a lot to do with the way you present a listing on Amazon. I could give you examples of that and things like that. It wouldn't seem like it would make that big of a difference, but it does. And so those are, if somebody is going to buy this business from me, I will spend time and teach them what I know about that. And I think that's really important. There's obviously other variables such as great looking images and pictures. I've found professionals that will, I can take pictures and have them create different action images with Photoshop and just things like that do an excellent job. Better than the main thing you do is you just always try to outdo your competition. And like I said, there's a lot of people on Amazon, they don't understand how that works. And so I will teach anybody that is buying this business how to do that the way I do it, the way I know how to do it. And that takes a lot of time to understand at first, but to teach it is pretty simple. And as far as advertisement on Amazon, Amazon does have an advertising area that I spoke about earlier. There's certain ways of doing that advertisement. You can't just get on there and start advertising. There's certain keywords and things that you put in those ads, and those ads will help search for your product and help a future customer, a potential customer, find our product much easier than if you're just going to throw those words up or some other words up, or what you decide to do on there for that product. So there's ways to optimize this listing, and it's incredibly important to know how to optimize that listing and every listing you put on. There's also when you launch a product, there's a way to launch a product on Amazon, and and to get it ranked pretty quick, pretty fast on the first couple of pages, it takes some doing, and I know how to do that. I've learned over time how to do that, and so those are things that, again, that I'll be teaching others how to do that when they're interested in this. For sure, customer service, I would say, out of anything else, is probably the most important thing. You know, I've given customer service my whole life. I was taught how to do that from my father, and I've learned that although that might be old school to some, that is so important. And the letters, you should just see the letters that are written back on a daily basis to us, thanking us for answering the letter within minutes, an email. It just makes such a big difference, and they talk to other people about that. And so I've got a great following, and people that will start telling me about their life stories sometimes when I wasn't expecting it, because they feel like they're a friend of us because we've answered their email. It just goes on and on. So good customer service is so important, and we have different tools that we use to help with the emails on the back end that we tie into the back end of Amazon. I've learned how to do all these things, and it's simple to me, but it's very difficult for somebody that would get on Amazon and try to do this themselves. And so again, that is another way to bring more business to Amazon. Like I said before, we continue to improve our product, such as batteries. We have, I don't know if anybody knows what milliamps are, but that's the capacity of the charge of a battery, and we've improved those milliamps on all of our lights. We found out that the longer time the battery lasts, the more people want that product. And so I've searched really hard to gain better, to get better batteries and to have these things last longer, and so it just makes a difference. And so when people are writing reviews and they're really excited about your light or something like that, we will ask for reviews, and sometimes people will just go right on there and write reviews just organically. Actually, most of the time they do it organically. But when they're so impressed by things and by the quality, a review will kill a company or will help a company. It will make or break a company, and that's just how it works online. I guess on any site really, but Amazon, reviews are amazingly incredible. If you have a new product and it's just a crappy product and not quality, you start getting bad reviews, you might as well just take that listing right off, because you're not gonna sell that product after the first bad reviews come in. So that makes a really big difference also. And I'm sure everybody understands how reviews work. You're always going to have that person that's very judgmental, like, oh, I got it late, so I'm going to give this a bad review. You're going to see reviews like that here and there on anybody's products. But overall, we've held 4.5 out of 5 review ratings on all of our lights. So we're pretty proud of that fact. Anything else?
No,
I
think you talking 90% of the time is, the whole point of this whole thing, and that's great, and it's good. I'm addressing when you don't hear me talk and you're talking, don't think nothing's getting done. I'm typing people. So very great job thus far. Keep doing what you're doing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we got 10 to 11, something like that. Admin screenshots. Don, if you would, spend about a minute or so on each. And now I'm going to put myself on mute, and I won't talk until the end of the admin section, and that'll be notified. Or the end is when the revenue screenshot comes up. What I'll do is I'll be saving any questions that pertain to the revenue to the admin section until the end of the admin section. So when you're done speaking about a screenshot that we're looking at, simply say next, and I'll advance to the next slide. So I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Well, it's an Amazon storefront, and it's fulfillment by Amazon. 100% of your products go to Amazon. What we're trying to achieve here is to give the listener a pretty pretty full understanding as far as how you run the business day by day. Now, anyone listening, what currently is being done does not, Amazon doesn't require it, but they're paying 50, and it's ending soon, but over the past 12 months, it's been right at $56,000 has been paid for rent, and a number above that has been paid for employees to do quality control for the products being shipped in. So the products from China are being shipped in to Don and his team. They're doing quality control on it, and then they're forwarding it to Amazon. Now, this site is a 100% FBA fulfillment by Amazon site. So those are extra expenses that anyone listening here, it's up to you, can cut out. The reason I know that Don and his wife did it was to ensure positive reviews by getting the quality control, making sure everything goes smoothly. So, Don, at some point, I want you to bring that up in the admin section as far as, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the behind the scenes. Because really, for most sites, the admin section has to do a lot more of the electronics, things to do with the website. With your business, the day-to-day is a lot of hands-on touching of the product. So just be sure to expound upon that, if you will. But let's start here. What are we looking at right now? I'm putting myself on mute. When you're done talking about a screenshot, please say next.
Okay. This is our storefront. If you were to go on any listing on Amazon and say you put in bike lights, then you see our listing and you click on that, you would click on a particular light, and if you clicked on Bright Eyes right underneath that title of that listing, it'll go right into a storefront of everything that seller sells. And so this is that storefront. So you can see
Plus more.
plus more.
We have more.
Yeah, we have a couple of screenshots here we'll look at. But so this shows our lights. And you can see, like Adam explained, we are FBA. And what that means is fulfilled by Amazon. If you decide to sell something out of your warehouse on Amazon, that's considered what's called FBM. And the way you can tell that right off the bat is if it says Prime next to your light. And so you can see Prime on all of these. So everything is sent into their warehouses. They have 50 warehouses, by the way, throughout the United States. And we send them in, and then Amazon spreads them out throughout the United States. And so the cost of shipping is really small for them. And so that's what Prime is. And if there's a product, if you look like 4 products down, I have 2 lights. Used to be that somebody was selling a similar light that was really popular on Amazon for about that price, and I added a second one on because I'm able to bring these lights in myself without a middleman. So I get fairly good deals, and so I was able to put those 2 lights on for the price of somebody else's light. And so I've done really well with that light because of that. But you can see where it says $35.97. Amazon, if you're not a Prime member, then you don't get the product free unless it's over $35. And so free shipping. I'm sorry. Thanks, honey. So anything over $35 for somebody that's not Amazon Prime has to hit that $35 mark to get it free. And so I've got that light right at $35.97, and it's held there for a long time. And so that's just more knowledge about, what if somebody's not Prime? Well, they can still get it for free if they hit a certain mark.
Free shipping.
Free shipping. So, thank you.
Well, one thing about it is when you send lights in, first of all, it's a lot faster to them. People trust it a lot more, and they love to see Prime next to that because they know that they have that option, or like they're going to get it in 2 days. Anything that is FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, they're shipping it out of their warehouse or their house, and most people don't trust it quite as much. They're not sure that they're going to get it quickly, and they just really like that Prime because most people have that have signed up for Prime. They know they won't have to pay any shipping. Another thing is if I was sending out that many products a day, I would have to hire more people. We're able to have some quality control. We send in by UPS every day. You get your UPS cheaper because they are partnered with Amazon. So I send in a huge box. I can have 40 lights or 100, it just matters on the size. I can put in 150 diffusers. when I'm sending those in, you would imagine a 41 or 50-pound box being expensive, and it's like $8, $12 max. And so when you send those into Prime and they're in their warehouse, you can look every day and see how much is in stock. You can see where you're sitting and how many days, like just so that you don't run out. But those people really trust Prime. And so we do that because it helps sell your lights better. And we do that also because I don't want to have that much in supplies. I don't want to buy all the tape and the packaging and mail out 180 to 400 lights a day or whatever it is. It's too much. I don't want that responsibility. So it's so much easier and so much more relied on if you send it to Amazon.
Hey, go ahead into the next page. Okay, there was 2 pages of lights, but that's okay. What this screen here is a customer, and I know all of you that buy on Amazon, which I think nowadays is most people, you'll get an email from Amazon that asks how your purchase experience was, and it'll have a place to give you a 5-star in 3 different areas. And if you look at that screen just below the percentage numbers, it says arrived on time, yes. Item as described, yes. Customer service. I send a letter out to everybody. They don't always put yes on that because sometimes they don't realize I've sent them a letter at that point. And you can see one that says yes because they probably sent me an email back and noticed it. And so that's what that means. And so you can give them a 5-star rating down to 1 star. Now this is not a product rating. This is, again, a seller rating on how the seller has done. This is becoming more and more important. And you can see in over 2 years, I had 3,925 comments with ratings, and I'm 100% on that. And so we've done a pretty good job with our customer relations and with the people that enjoy our product. Amazon gives you a chance to recover. Say somebody gives you a 1 star, and there's a reason why. Well, we can write them back and say, hey, we apologize for that experience that you've had, and this is very rare. What can we do to help fix this situation? And so many times, most of the time, they'll email us back and say, oh, this happened. And say, oh, we can send that right away. You can turn a 1 star into 5 star if you, again, getting back to customer service, if you just take care of that part with that customer, they are customers for life after that point. And so, again, we have a big following because of that. So that's pretty much what that screen shows. Next. Some of this is kind of hard to read. Let's see, because it's a screenshot. Okay, this is just a daily basis of emails that were sent to us. These are sent messages, and so they have different areas on Amazon that you click into, that you go into from the original home page, and this just shows the messages going in and out. It's just basic, and it shows their order ID number. You can go ahead on the very right, and you can click on their order ID number, and it'll show the purchase of the items that they ordered and when they ordered it and all that kind of stuff. But this is just another page that shows statistics on emails. Next. These are emails, just showing what we do every day. We write emails to our customers after we respond back to our customers, and these are just responses to them on a daily basis. I do have a couple of people that write emails for me, including myself. It doesn't take much to teach somebody how to do these emails, and when you do that, it opens up your time where you can source for more lights or more things as far as administration, making the whole listing better. Next. Okay, this is the advertised campaign that I'm talking about. If you look at the status in the middle of the page, going up and down, you can see our ads are running. Some of them are paused, mostly because either that one line wasn't relevant as far as that advertisement, so it's paused for now, or it's not doing as well with that keyword or keyword phrase. And the other ones you can see are running, and we do very well with those that are running, and we just let them run every day. And again, we have an advertising cost here. And if you look at to the very right, it says ACOS. That's the average cost of sell. If you can get anything under, say, 40%, then not only is the product paying for itself through the advertising, it's paying for the advertising also. And so it's just a win-win situation, advertising on Amazon the right way. Next. This is our front page of Seller Central, our professional Seller Central account. There's a bigger page to this, but the bigger the shot you take, the less you can see. That this is part of the most important part of the page. It shows from top to bottom, shows orders pending and premium unshipped, all the way to return requests. Those are if you're on FBM, and we have been on FBM before where we actually sell from here. The only reason why that ever happens is if we ever run out of product, or we have a brand new product and we're shipping our product for the first time in Amazon, we'll go ahead and turn on our listing, and so it'll be FBM. And in getting back to FBM, when you're selling it out of your house or out of your warehouse, you will always be probably sell 1/3 of what you can sell on Amazon once compared to once you get your product in and sell it on FBA Prime. And so again, what my wife is saying is true. You will always do better getting the product into Amazon. You pay a little bit more storage fee for that, but they sell it for you. I mean, that is their job, is to get that product sold out of their warehouse as fast as they can, and they do a really good job with that. Whereas if you're selling it yourself at your house, you're having to push that sale. You're having to do all these extra things such as returns and getting individual packages out the door, which take a lot of time when you're selling hundreds a day. And so that's what that part of it is. There's things like A to Z claims where customers are unhappy with their light. If you look down to the left a little bit more under performance, all that area of that performance, we're pretty much 100% on all that. We don't get A to Z claims. We may have had 2 in 2.5 years, and we worked directly with the customer and made them happy, and they took that claim away. And then go ahead.
This is also the page where you can get the alerts where you can see the lights across the side. Their numbers, when they send them over here, it's like when you're getting low, it's nice because they do those automatic reminders. You can see, in case you didn't already notice, which though we watch it every day, what is getting low so we can make sure not to run out of stock. This is showing what's in inventory. A lot of times there's stuff already in the process where they're checking it in, and where it's showing there's only 10 days, they don't realize, or that it's not checked in yet, that there's 600 sitting there coming into stock. So it doesn't reflect that, but it is nice where it just gives you that extra reminder. They do really well on their site to support their sellers, where they can, you can see that you're getting low, or you can see areas you can improve. They also, on the buyer messages, if there's any emails, you can see them right away so that you can make sure to answer promptly, because the faster you answer, the better your rankings and your ratings are with Amazon.
Definitely. Okay, next. So this is the right side of that same page. I kind of cut that out so you can see it better, and so I have 2 different screenshots of our front page. This just shows recent payment. That was our last payment, was $77,000. When they pay you, they'll send you an email and say, you've just been paid. They pay you every 2 weeks, and it takes about 3 days to get into your bank.
It's an automatic direct deposit. Mm-hmm. With the recent payment, that is not total sales. There's total sales, and you get a detailed statement that shows shipping and everything, and it's after all the fees. That is your actual paycheck that gets direct deposited into your bank account. The balance is showing that's the next payment that's coming, but it's not done yet. So when it's ready to batch, you'll get the grand total. That's the one from December 4th, the $77,000. The next one that's going to batch is 14 days later, so you're looking at December 18th. So this screenshot was just before, and the total was higher than the $100,000 that got deposited. So it just shows that this is building still, and it will deposit when it's ready to batch.
And then it shows the sales summary of what we did in 7 days, how many units we sold, what we did in 15 days and 30 days. So you can see how that works. Next. And by the way, because we source our own product, Amazon takes 15% out of everything that they sell for warehouse fees as far as rent, and for a referral fee, and then they take a little bit out for shipping. Because we source our own product, we have our own retail prices, and we price those at a certain area that's very competitive with other people and very a good profit. Just a very good area for profit. Usually, I want to say 45 to 55% profit on everything we make, and that's after all our fees are added into it too. So this page here shows on the main page you have these what are those called up there? Just little buttons that you can click on, and one of them shows inventory, one of them shows pricing, one of them shows orders, and advertising and all that. So this is if you clicked on the inventory page. This shows our inventory. It shows how much we have in stock. Shows how much we have sent into Amazon, and that's on the way, and how many are reserved, which are cells or items being shipped to other warehouses from the main warehouse. That's what that shows.
On that one shot right there, though, you'll see a lot of zeros. It's because they have the new listings that are just coming on as the top, well, 4, and then it skips down, and you'll see another one with the blue lights that are used for scorpion lights and things like that. Those are all at 0 because they are just coming in. Yeah. Those are brand new products being developed right now that are ready to go in or are on their way to Amazon right now. So if you went down farther, you would see others and see a lot more, like those main products. You're starting to catch one of the main products down a little bit at the very, very bottom. But other than that, you're just seeing some new products that are just coming on.
Yeah, and to the right is where you edit those products. You can add images of the pictures, and you can change your listings, and that's where you do it from, is in that edit button on the right side. Next. That's the lower half of that same page. That's our better selling products, and just more of that information. Next. Let's see.
This is the report that when you go into your sales, when you click on where you batch, where you see the batch of the statement of how much your paycheck is going to be or what's being worked on right then, you can see it at any point where it sits. There's another button on the side or a tab that you select, and that's where it's going to come and show you the sales. This is the one I think we started with, where you can see, and you can edit the top right corner to any dates you want to look at and see how many are being sold in that week period or that month period or whatever you decide to select. I really work off this a lot to see the amount being sold per day so I can see how my stock is, because you can't just go with what Amazon says with the saying there's 2 days left of stock, there's 10 days left of stock. If you divide it out yourself, it's much more accurate because you're looking at, like, I'm not going to include all of everything before Christmas. I want to see what's selling since Christmas to know my current per day. And so we go through this page, I go through this page a lot so that I can watch my inventory, because I don't want to run out. I want to keep it going and not have it decrease because I run out of stock.
Yeah, it's really nice too. Everything that's in blue, like to the right, you can see the SKU. If you click on that, it'll go right to your product list and show you what that product listing looks like to other people as a buyer. And so these blue areas will take you right to other areas that really make a difference, and so you can see what other people are looking at. Next.
I think we're back at the start. Oh, it's another page of
that's
the
this.
same.
Yeah, that's just the same page.
It's showing a lot more detail, more of the products. You can usually tell your top sellers, like he said before, because they're going to be up at the top.
Next.
Okay, great job here, and I'm waiting for confirmation to see if one person's question was addressed. Questions were asked, and you went into detail, and if anything, anyone I was interacting with, if anything remains unclear, please let me know. And I see that other one that just came in. Okay, so what we see here is what anyone has access to when they log into their Latona's account. This is from the listing page of the site, of the business, of the offering. If you click on annual revenue, this pops up. We're seeing an upward trend with some spikes. So July, and then also specifically December, I would imagine holiday month. A lot of product was sold because of that. Is that an accurate assumption?
Correct.
Okay. How's January looking?
January is looking great. If you look at this revenue to the left in the January section, that one that's coming off really high is really residue from Christmas. And so after Christmas, of course, most of the country is pretty cold. We sell bike lights. Not everybody goes out and rides at night in the cold. And so it'll start off a little lower at the beginning of the year. But the last 2 years, each January all the way through have been higher, including right now. Our January is higher than last year's, which you're looking at right now.
Okay, so you think it's safe to assume that you end up above 200,000?
For January? Or
Correct.
no, January won't be above 200,000. It'll probably be half as much as Christmas, if not a little bit less than that.
Okay.
But it'll rise and rise and rise. And when you get to about April, where the weather starts warming up,
Right.
we will be quite a bit higher than what that's showing right there because we have more products.
Well,
This whole year
it's an
is
improvement
higher,
from
so
last January, which is good. Shows that
Yes.
the business is growing, and that's the whole point of it. So, um, revenue slide, cost of goods sold. Um, Now, I apologize if a mistake was made, but it's a bit counterintuitive that the revenues are going up and the COGS are going down. Um, this
Is
is
that purchased?
this is based
yeah.
on the data that was filled in on Latona's.
Well, we do that on purpose. We start to stock and we want to really fill that warehouse before
That makes
Christmas.
sense. I'm sorry.
And so there's different times where we see it. Also, we buy in larger quantities so that we don't have to do it as often. It cuts down on our shipping costs. You know, why buy 1,000 when you're going to need 5,000?
That
You
makes
buy
sense.
5,000 at a time. It lasts you for a while. It's time to buy again. So you kind of do see that up and down, but it actually saves you a lot of money in shipping rather than doing small shipping every time. And you do larger. But also in September, we really start stocking for Christmas. You don't want to wait till November because
No.
it won't be on the shelf in time. And so we try to be, really proactive ahead of the game on that.
All right, and this would be an opportune time to say, and it's in the listing, and it's a rough number. Am I correct in saying that with the sale, subject to change because of sales, but right around the site comes with roughly $150,000 worth of wholesale valued products?
Yes,
Yeah.
we will for sure always keep that in stock. That is not diminishing at all.
Okay, so 150,000 is kind of the Mendoza line, if you will. Not sure if that, I mean, I just know that's low, but is the least amount, the baseline that you keep in stock. So a buyer can assume that at least 150,000 wholesale is coming with the site, so it's not on day one you're waiting for product to come in. So you have a fully functioning business from day one. As
It's
mentioned,
true.
there's going
Even
to be
today, we're
support
ordering
as
again.
well.
So we're
I'm
not letting
sorry, I
it be.
interrupted. You were saying?
Oh, sorry. Even today, we're ordering again. We're not going to let it diminish.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's your practice to always keep 150,000 in stock,
Definitely.
at
Yeah,
least now.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That we're guaranteeing that there's at least 150,000 in wholesale product moving forward, and that's good. Now, um, I'll start with this one. Expenses on this or for this business is, again, to be quite frank, they're higher than they need to be, and that's not a negative, and that's also probably some subjectivity. But the reason that they are higher than I think they need to be now is rightfully so, the primary focus in starting and running a business for 2 years and having a viable option to turn to on Amazon is it's all about the reviews and all about the positioning, and they go hand in hand on Amazon. So what the sellers decided to do was to have a $56,000 warehouse setting in order to ship products directly to them, in order to hire people to go through said products and to ship said products to Amazon. So they added a middleman, whereas it could have gone directly to Amazon. Now, the positive of that is that just the positioning within Amazon and the great reviews. Am I correct in saying that rent is going now? In it, this is more of a question that just came in. The 56,000 that was paid for calendar year 2015. What commitment do you presently have as it relates to rent, and would that be required to transfer to a new owner?
There is no commitment. We have that is ending as of next month. We have built a warehouse ourselves. We will have no rent. There is nothing that anybody would be committed to continue, like stepping into a lease agreement, anything like that.
Right.
That is done away. So that won't be anything that somebody has to worry about.
Now, describe why you made that decision. I mentioned it a couple times, but it's a big investment. It's a lot of money. Why did you do that?
Well, we had a location. We were using it. We were able to, the lease was coming to a close. We did buy some sea containers and actually put them where we can have them on our property, so that there is no rent. It is totally free and clear owned for us. Now, somebody taking this on, they could arrange whatever they would like to do for, like, having it near to them in their location. They're not going to drive to our house and want to use our warehouse, or something, our storage in the back. So it's something that, luckily, especially with this lease coming to an end, it has the most perfect timing, so that it's not something that will ever be something somebody has to have an obligation or feel like they're stuck in a location. This is totally can be moved to anywhere someone is.
Right.
Along with that, Adam, there's a lot of sellers that send their product right into Amazon and never inspect their product. We love to inspect our product. We've owned a store long enough to know that I don't care what company it is, there can be defects, and so we look for those, and it pays off. Again, it pays off in good reviews and happy customers when they open their package that that light works. And so we go through everything, and we hire, and as Christmas comes, we hire more, because that's that part of the year, from April all the way through Christmas gets busier with bikers around this nation, with their groups and what they're doing, and
buying Christmas presents.
And the fall is the best writing time of the year, and so it just gets bigger and bigger as you get towards the end of the year. So it takes a little more work.
It would be nice to develop this. Like, we've been working towards having it be able to be sent straight to Amazon, but I wish we could say that there was never a defective tail light in there. We test them. Like, you just run through the cycle and make sure the tail light turns on. It is a lot better than when we first started out. It is almost perfect. I can see that it could be developed, just a little bit more time. It could go straight to Amazon from the factory. But at this point, we really love checking it, knowing that we have it, so we can just build this to be really strong. And it is not very expensive. These people that work for us run through these lights so fast. They can kick out so many boxes a day that it's a very small cost for having it make your product perfect.
Oh yeah, it pays off. Plus, I actually fly to China a couple times a year. I meet with our factories. It's kind of a fun part of the business, and they know the problems that come over from there, and they do a really good job on quality control. They really do. I mean, they're starting to pay attention to that more and more all the time. But China is not America, and they look at quality different than we do. And but you know, we know that everything you buy pretty much, unfortunately, is from China. I mean, I guess that can be unfortunate or fortunate, but.
Well, I think over time we've trained them on what we expect and what we have to have. If it's going to be sellable, if it's going to be considered a good product, they know now, and they've come a long way as to what it has to be.
Thank you, and that really addressed everything that's come up. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm further addressing someone's question here, which I can handle in just a moment there. Now, I'll set up this first question by saying an hour of your time is worth more than an hour of my time. Definitely, among other things, as it relates to Amazon selling, product selling, et cetera, et cetera. So, Don, you already mentioned you know, were heavily involved in the running of a hardware store, a brick and mortar, and then maybe another one, at least one. Let's both of you talk what your skill set was coming into the business 2+ years ago, 2 years ago, and then currently what only you as the owners of the site, what do you two do? So I'll put myself on mute, spend some time on that if you both would, and I'll be back when you're done.
Okay. Well, like I said, my dad put me to work when I was a little kid in his hardware store, and I helped him in certain areas of those stores. So I learned not only how to position products in a store and how to set up cells and things like that. I also learned I learned about customers and really loving customers as they came in our store, and how it made a difference in their life as I would answer their questions, and especially when I knew what they were asking. And I remember them coming in when I was like 12 or 13, and how amazed they were when I knew some of the answers, because I knew the inside and outside of the product I was selling. My dad had us have certain parts of the store, and I was over the plumbing and electrical, and so that's where a lot of this knowledge came from as far as customer service. Later on, my wife and I opened up a sporting goods shop here in this town that we live in, and we ran that shop for just over 20 years. And it was nothing but sporting goods. My forte is running. I'm a marathon runner. And I know the insides and outsides of a running shoe and the importance of what they mean to a runner. And so I just have learned those kind of skills working with customers and understanding the product really well. It's so important to understand a product. There's so many people that run a business that don't understand the product they sell, therefore they're not confident in what they do. I know this stuff. That's why I fly to China. I want to see the insides of these things. I want to know the details and the people that are sending them to me and what their personalities are like.
But it's something so easy to learn and to see that it doesn't take years and years of this. You guys, anybody looking at these and looking at these lights, you could use it a few times and then realize the qualities that you like about it. And so it's not something that is unattainable for someone else.
No, it's not. And the thing is, we've got the site set up, and we've hired a few people that do a lot of, somebody once told me, you can spend a lot of time doing a $10 an hour job, or you can hire people so you have time to do that $100 or $1,000 an hour job. And we've learned that we've hired people to help us that love the job they do. They help us go through a product. They do accounting for us. They do different things like that, and we run the business. And so my job every day is to source product, and I probably spend 3 to 5 hours a day sourcing products and doing those kind of administration things. What's nice is I've got people working for me. I've got a format set up with my wife that if we want to go somewhere for a week or 2 weeks or a day, we can go anytime we want, where we have other employees that take care of our business for us at a very minimal cost. And so
the thing that I do every day is I'm kind of over the workers. We've always split the business in half. This is our 4th business. We always split it in half. He would be over the inventory. He would be over a lot of, like all the ordering, all of the product details, and I'm over the financials. So I do the books, the accounting, but I'm also over now in this one. I'm more over the quality control employees. It's really kind of more like playing. I just They do that. They tell me how many boxes I have. I print some labels. I'm having a great time. We do it. We have a bunch of kids, and so we have 7 kids, and you can tell that with 7 kids, it can't take 24 hours a day. We need to have fun. We need to have a life. And so what I do is, especially with the way Amazon presents it with a statement, it is very simple. The accounting is amazing. It's so easy. Type it in once every 2 weeks, and then when he does some purchases, I'm able to just quickly put that in because you see it coming right out of the bank account. It is very simple. And then I'm just over the shipping. Like I start noticing, hey, this light's low. You guys need to work on the 1200 lumen black box. You need to work on the square light. You need to work on the scorpion light. And they're able to, they know what to do. They just go ahead and double check that they work. They send them out. They just give me dimensions, and out comes some labels. They could easily do this, but because I enjoy it and it takes so small, I do it. But I could hand it over today. It's not something that is too hard. So we spend a few hours, and the rest of the time, I think we're a family, we're parents.
Yep.
All right, thank you. I just advanced the one slide there. If you were to keep the site, what would you do to grow it?
Well, I already have 5 new products coming on now. I was going to say something at the beginning that I decided to wait till the last. We have a brand name that's, I think, very powerful. And owning a bike store and a sporting goods shop, we always bought from 3 or 4 main distributors of bike parts and bikes in this nation. And I know those companies, and because of knowing that, and then being over here on this side where we do everything from our warehouse and our home and our computers, I don't have time to go out and grow this outside of Amazon. But this name is very well known. I just tell you, I went and ran a marathon a few months ago, and I'm sitting next to this guy going to the start of the marathon, and he says, "What? We're just talking about what we do in life." And I told him, and he says, "What brand name is that?" I told him. He says, "I have one of those. In fact, all of us do in our bike group, And it's like, it's so amazing how powerful Amazon can be this way. But there is a huge amount of business I could be doing outside of Amazon. I don't have the source right now, the sources to be able to go out there and sell to these distributors who I'm familiar with. As far
we could
as,
if we wanted to.
We could, and we will someday. But I just think it's a great brand where that can continue to grow outside of Amazon. Amazon, we're of course going to get bigger and bigger because our name's very powerful and strong on there as we add more products on.
We could probably stay with what we have, but it's so interesting to us. And when we see other things, especially as he, sees new products that when he's traveling or things like that, we think, why not? Why should we tie ourselves to 5 products? Let's just test some other things. So we test things, we put them on there. So far, basically everything we've put on there has done really well and continues to grow. I know that in the future, it's just going to keep going. Just to see what it's done, like from the first January to the next January to this January, is amazing to us. And it just continues to surprise us. But we just are, like when we improved, like we started out with the 1200 lumen light. We started out with a 4400 milliamp battery. Now we're at the 64. We can see how there's little things just, keeping those products at the top of the market rather than let them become old, stale inventory, where somebody else has now surpassed us. That's pretty easy to do with what's there, just adding those small improvements. But when you see something else out there, I think it's also great to broaden the line. So we do some of that also.
All right, and I mute myself during some of these. This is going to be our last slide, and then I'm going to do a last call for questions. So everybody listening, as you have been, keep questions coming in. We're almost to the end of it, but before we do conclude, pretty direct question: why are you selling?
Well, I kind of answered that earlier. As far as being able to do this from home, we have time to do this, and we're going to continue to grow our Amazon business. I just feel like our name's strong enough out there where somebody could take this and run with it and create a much more powerful national brand bike name that would hit every market possible. We could do that down the road. It's going to take more work, but that work's going to pay off. But be honest with you, our family's more important than that. To grow it like that, and I guess I could hire people. I just don't know how to do that. If there's people out there that can, they'll do a great job with it, in the right direction, I believe.
But if it didn't sell and we kept doing this, we're perfectly happy.
Yeah.
It's just we see such great potential with this one. With this light, with this brand name, and so it's something we do enjoy and we could continue. But just to see those possibilities, we wanted to allow that possibility.
Makes sense. Thank you. Last call for questions. So everybody listening live, if you have any questions, please chat them over before we're concluding. As I'm looking for those, this is me. My name, my cell phone, my email, and my Skype. You can also connect with me by making a request for a prospectus on the listing page on Latona's. I'm pretty responsive, so definitely connect with me, and once we have an NDA on file, I can go ahead and continue the conversation. So I wanted to thank you both. Great presentation. You were very proactive, unknowingly so, by answering a lot of the questions that came in. I also weaved in some of them without identifying them as third-party questions. But on that, I don't see anything else remaining. Thank you again, both of you. Everyone listening, a recording of this will be on no later than Monday. Ideally, it's within 24 hours, even though we're up against a weekend. But definitely, I've been impressed by both of them throughout phone calls, as well as Don meeting him in person a few days ago. So it is something that when you're buying it, you're also buying the transition from one owner to the other and support after. And I think that's definitely an asset in this circumstance. So bring me your questions if you would. I'm looking forward to interacting with you. Thank you again both for taking time on a Friday here. I wish you both a great weekend.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya.